Good morning, everyone. How are you? This is the Diana White Show live, and I trust you're doing great today. A gentleman just called me, just before I got on the air, and he was kind of excited to find me. Okay. This Facebook thing is really good, but no, he heard me on the radio with John T., my good buddy, yesterday when I talked about my book signing that will be coming out this Saturday. I can actually say this Saturday, October 19th, from 6 to 9 p.m., and of course, it's happening in Plantation at Midtown 24, the Alibi Room, 700 Southwest 78th Avenue, and it is behind the fountains. It's the only high building behind the fountain, so you can't actually miss it. And of course, all of this is happening because of Rad Wellness, Dax Dunn and Vanya, the two people at the top there at Rad Wellness, and they're hosting the event, and it's a beautiful place. You'll have a fabulous evening. They're going to have raw food demonstration, and they're going to actually show you how you can have nice desserts without butter and eggs. Yeah. So I want you to join us. I'm so sorry my friend from Jamaica is not going to make it, but well, we'll see how that goes. And my friend from Los Angeles and of course Atlanta. So anyway, their time will come to have their books signed. Okay, so welcome you to the program this morning as we just begin by talking about what else? The government shutdown. Yeah. So where is it right now? This is what, day 15? And I'm truly wondering if the Republicans actually gave it some thought before they went on the crusade of destruction of the America that they claim they love, hurting the little people that they say they want to support them and vote for them. Did you think, or do you think they actually thought about the consequences? I truly believe that anything you pursue in your life, you must think about the consequences first. Why? Because if you cannot live with the consequences, then my brothers and sisters, young men, young women, older folks, or younger folks, you should not be doing that thing. Whatever it is. Remember yesterday I say if you have to say but, you shouldn't do it. Well, today I'm talking about your reputation. Did the Republicans ever think about their reputation? In one day, one newspaper, we heard what was it, 70% people were hating what they're doing, and then, whoops, was it the Washington Post that came up the next day with 74%? It's growing fast. I hope it gets to 100. So they can truly understand when you're going to follow a leader like Ted Cruz, you need to go online and see what his friends from his Princeton are saying about him. So do you think those things are wonderful? Or do you think they're bad? Reputation actually matters. It truly does, because we now see that Senator Ted Cruz is not just the most hated man in the United States of America. He's now the most hated man in the world. Because people are wondering why he's messing with the global economy and taking some fools along with him like Senator Mike Lee, Senator Marco Rubio, Rand Paul. Yeah, he's just leading them like puppy dogs. And yes, the Senate yesterday, Harry Reid and Mitch McConnell kind of went to the friendship thing and came up with something. But how are they going to handle those bad boys and bad girls, terrorists, in the House of Representatives? How will they handle them? Are you wondering? Do they think about the consequences? Are they truly thinking that they're hurting President Barack Hussein Obama? Oh no, my brothers and sisters in the Congress, you're actually hurting the little people who cannot pay their mortgage, who cannot pay their rent, and yes, if we hit the debt ceiling, the old people and those stupid veterans that are in Washington with you demonstrating and hating on the president and throwing tantrums and calling the president a Muslim Quran reader to come out on his knees? What racist chatter is that? So all of you who are there in Washington in your glee right now because you're so happy that the government shut down, there's an almighty one named God through his son Jesus, and he will deal with you just like he will deal with some of my enemies and your enemies and some people. If you check my Facebook posting today, you will see what I'm feeling this morning. Because you know you have some people in your life, they drain you and bleed you for all that you've got. And then when you turn your back because you're upset about something or an insult that was made, they try to give away your position the minute you turn your back to someone else. And then they say you are their friend. Well, if that's friendship, I don't want it. I don't need it. What about you today? There is something called redemption, as my friend Faith in Atlanta reminded me of. It is redemption for people. But when people hurt you the way you don't expect them to, and when they allow you to be abused by someone who must have been listening to them talking about you behind your back, because that gave that person power to talk to you the way they do. Because you know, my mom always says to me, the reception you get from people when you enter a room is based on what been talked about you in that room or behind your back. And my mom is always right. Hallelujah. Yes, she is. So I invite you today to think about your reputation before you do things to others that will hurt your reputation. And you goddamn know that that person can turn around and hurt you back if they wanted to. Oh yes, they could. But most of the times, if you're like me, you just leave them to the Almighty One called God through his son Jesus and go to your bed, read some Psalms and pray. Because that takes care of all your enemies. I heard Rod Parsley saying, oh yes, your enemies will have no room to hurt you. But they come in cloaks of friendship sometimes, you see. So you got to be aware. Because I'm sure the Republicans thought that what Ted Cruz was doing during the summer, it's okay. But now they realize what government actually does. And indeed, they really need government. And trying to convince those crazy veterans, yes, I'm calling them crazy veterans because they were talking some crap when they were at the White House demonstrating over the weekend. And when you listen to Senator Ted Cruz and you hear that he's just the way he is now as he was in college, you wonder how on earth did those crazy people in Texas vote for him? To send him to Washington to wreck the entire country, not for Barack Hussein Obama president, but for the little people. And come the 24th and November 1st, those are the days of danger. The 17th, this Thursday, is dangerous. But the 24th and the 31st and the 1st, when the Social Security checks are supposed to go to those seniors who depend on their checks being deposited in the bank so they can live, oh, you will not assume and think of, you cannot imagine the chaos that will take place in this great country called the United States of America. So Congress is working on their own bill. Before I came on the air, they were just about to go to the platform and make their stage. Yeah? So they pump their chest and give you posture. And you fools out there keep voting them into office. You need to stop. Gerrymandering or no gerrymandering of districts, I don't care whether you're Democrat or Republican or independent, and all you independents who voted for these fools, because most of you voted for Romney in the last election, I do know. Go check your facts. What are you saying right now? And all the Wall Street people who are pooing in their pants because they don't know what the crazy Republicans that they sent to Washington are going to do? We have no sympathy for them, do we? I just bleed for the little people who are still sleeping in their cars, who still have debt that they can't pay because they can't collect their debt from the debtors who owe them, and they are suffering for it. The folks who have to go to the soup kitchen every single day, and those who are suffering from anxiety right now because they're not sure what the government is going to do. So when you are out there demonstrating and holding up the placards and talking about you don't want any government, just look at the past 15 days and see what has not been done. Because I truly believe that some of the people who went to Washington as Republican congresspeople have no clue what government does and what it does not do. They know nothing about politics and they know nothing about finance. They watch Fox News, they listen to Rush Limbaugh and crazy Glenn Beck, and they make their decisions and include Michelle Bachmann into that fold and Sarah Palin. So what do we do now? Today is Tuesday. Thursday is Doomsday. Let's just call it that for the minute. It is Doomsday Thursday. So if you have your money in the stock market, if you have a 401k, which a whole lot of you do, what are you going to do? And all the business people that are just sitting back, are they actually calling these crazies and talking to them? They gave them the money to go there. The Koch brothers, are they enjoying this? Are they enjoying this because we hate Barack Obama? Oh, I listened to that man talking about Obama needs to come out on his knees with his hands out or up. He didn't even know which one to say. Stop reading the Quran. Oh my goodness. I saw what I saw when I was a little girl about America and the racism, how blatant and how ugly it was. I saw it again this weekend. And I'm truly wondering how you feel about that. Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think you should continue to vote in these crazy people and send them to Washington to wreck the economy and the global economy? Is that what you want for your country? Well, my golly, you don't love America. You're a bunch of haters, racist human beings who are under the cloak of Christianity. And stop calling the name of God. I beg you, please stop it. Wow, what a country we have lived to see. As my mom always say, you cannot imagine how the world has changed. So yesterday, I gave the challenge, is there someone out there that does all these surveys and these polls? Are you going to find me a non-racist, livable state in the United States of America that we can all move to? That actually like immigrants and black people and brown people and Chinese people and Indian people all in one? Is there such a place? My goodness, what a country we're experiencing hate. Hate amplified. Hate without thought. Hate without feeling. So what is your love language today? We'll talk about that when we come back in just a moment, right here on the Diana Wright Show, live, coming to you 10:30 to 11:30 every morning, Monday through Friday. And if you miss a show, go to my website, www.dianawrighttv.webs.com. Thanks for those of you who are so excited to find me on Facebook, hear me on the radio yesterday. Oh, I'm coming alive again. And I'm going to crush my enemies. Yes, I will. Be back in just a moment. Hello, everyone. This is a season of giving. And I'm asking you to consider one of your gifts to be Deadly Negligence, written by yours truly, Diana Wright. A story that will give you hope, make you mad, shock you sometimes, but is bound to increase your faith and make you believe in miracles again. So please, give Deadly Negligence as a gift, as the gifting season begins to heat up. I am depending on you to do this for me. Thank you so much, and be the proud person to give a gift of the book Deadly Negligence. It's available on Amazon.com and on my website dianawrighttv.webs.com. Thank you so much for my viewers around the world and in the United States. Be blessed. Alrighty, we're back. Yes, we're back, and we thanking you so much for joining us from around the world and in the United States. We encourage you to keep praying, because I think only God can come down and put some sense in the Tea Partiers in Congress and let cooler heads reign and take the foolishness, which is anger, and the hate out of it, so we can actually move on. And I am just sick and tired of them talking about, oh, we're going to come up with a plan that takes this thing to January. Okay, so you take it to January, what's going to happen is the people who have their tax returns coming back will come late. So guess what? The people who have some money now, they're not going to spend that money, fools. They're going to hold on to it. So the retailers are going to be pissed off at the Republican Party, because no one else to be blamed but Ted Cruz and his followers. Yeah? And we see that nothing is sacred in America anymore, because Macy's has now decided to open on Thanksgiving Day. So your little mother and your little family who works in retail, because you know if Macy's does it, everybody's going to follow. Your little mother and your little family that you're hoping to get together to have a nice Thanksgiving, my favorite holiday, they will have to go to work at Macy's this year. How do you like that? So what's your love language? My love language is teaching you to love yourself, because I love me. And I want you to say that every single day. Teach it to your children and your friends and even your enemies. Because most of them are ugly in their hearts and they don't love who they are. They have no respect for themselves and they don't think about their reputation. So we are here to teach you to love yourself and consider the fact that this year, International I Love Me Day was a success for the Diana White Show. You might never have heard of it, but it is. So next April 30th, 2014, another International I Love Me Day. It's going to be the coolest thing on the planet. Because everyone is going to want to love themselves and everyone is going to want to wear one of my t-shirts to say, I love me. Oh yes, it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. Because one of the problems in this world is that most of the people out there are so busy trying to be someone else, live someone else's life, have someone else's looks. I hear people going to the plastic surgeon and say, oh, let me look like Jennifer Aniston. Are you crazy? Can you just be satisfied with who God made you to be? Oh yeah, Nene Leakes' nose looks better now that she got it fixed. But she was just as striking before she got the nose job. So if you can't afford it, no one is saying don't use a plastic surgeon. But you need to love who you are first before you start adding things or subtracting things or doing things. No one is saying you shouldn't put in the weave and worry about the rain wetting it up and it's going to be ruined. No one is saying that, and you can't go in the water because the weave will come out. And the guy you're with will think that you had long hair, but you no longer have it. What a farce. What a pretense. What a people we are. We have become. So, what's your love language? Okay. What's my love language? I like to give love, show love, do things for the people I love. Yeah, I like to do that. Take care of. What do I want in return? Loyalty, honesty, truth, no pretense with me. That's my love language. Whether it's in the book or it's not, it's mine. So you have people who want gifts. There are people who like to be kissed, people who like to be hugged, and people who like to be encouraged and validated. That's okay. But don't wait for someone to validate you before you love who you are, because you might die first. You need to love yourself first and validate you and how and who you are. Because I tell you what, when you love yourself, love comes to you easy. And it's easy for you to give love when you have love for you. But a lot of us are so insecure. We're overweight. We think we're ugly. We have to add hair. We have to wear a wig. Sometimes they wear the wig, you don't even recognize them. Yeah? So check that out. This is who I am. When I don't feel like showing my gray streaks, I put on my hat because I love hats, and that's my thing. Okay? So, love me or hate me, and I don't want anybody talking about they want to learn to love me. No thank you. Not interested. This is who I am, and that's how you should approach your life and people. Don't be a hypocrite. The Bible talks bad about hypocrites. Speak the truth. And if they love you, okay. If they hate you, that's okay too. Because being a hypocrite is worse. Being envious is worse, and being jealous is worse. So take that in and digest it today. Take a breath, as Dax will have you do all the time. Keep breathing, because sometimes when you check, you're not even breathing. Breathe and say the 3 magic words, I love me. So we see Mr. Snowden, who is now living in Russia, is now leaking some more stuff. Oh yeah. And as you look, and as I look at Mr. Snowden, I can tell you that Mr. Snowden feels no love for himself. I have a feeling he didn't even get some love when he was a little kid. He had no respect given to him, so he figures, let me do this big thing and expose the NSA. I'll be famous. Oh yeah, he's telling you he didn't think about that. He's lying. He must have given it some thought, the damage he was going to do. The head of Brazil, that woman, she doesn't even want to talk to the United States. She avoided President Barack Obama at the UN the other day only because she's ticked off because of what Snowden said. They were spying on her. So if you got up this morning and you think you're not being spied on, you're a fool. Whether you live in the Caribbean or you live in the United States or around the world, I don't care where you are, you're being spied on, didn't you know? So yes, today we found out a little more drip. Lots of our emails have been taken hostage by the NSA. Oh yeah. Yeah. So if you're with Yahoo, your numbers are higher. So all who plan to cheat and do wrong things, oh yeah, watch them emails you're sending. Uh-huh. And I can search it and fix it so you get caught too. Oh yeah. And if you're with Microsoft, Hotmail, don't feel safe anyway. About 33,000 of you got hacked too. Oh yeah. And Gmail, you thought you were secured with Google? Absolutely not. The NSA has got you too. So, what you gonna do about it? There's nothing you can do about it. Absolutely nothing. Because the NSA is gonna do what the NSA does to catch the terrorists so they can say to you, we did it to protect you, the American people. And protect our world partners too, because some of the things they hear in these chatter is about the rest of the world. It's not always about America. So it doesn't seem like wherever you go, you're safe. You just have to have faith and refuse, like me, to live in fear. I cannot get up every day and live in fear. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that. It's not healthy and it's not the right way, and you should only fear God. That's it. So, what's your love language? Make sure you know. And if you have some guy who's hanging on to you because he think now you're successful, watch him. You should have support from the person who claimed they love you when you're down, when you're starting, not when you have succeeded. And I promise you, they're going to put the knife in your back and turn it. Oh yes, they will. Have no fear. I said it today on this show. The 15th day of the government shutdown, led and orchestrated by the Republican Party, got a little more crazy and sensational over the summer of 2013, and oh, what a 2014 we're going to have. Are you looking forward? I'm looking forward to April 30th, 2014, when it's I Love Me Day and I can do something wonderful for myself, even though I do it every day. When you get a chance, you should always take care of you. It's important, because if you don't take care of you, you can't take care of anyone else. So, we see some news happening over there in Appletown, Silicon Valley. Oh yeah. They went all the way to London. So from London to Silicon Valley, they have managed to snatch the 53-year-old young woman. Yeah, you notice I said young woman, because 53 is really young these days. Successful CEO of Burberry. Burberry, you know, that black and beige lines, red lines kind of designs that are expensive beyond your means? I listened to Kramer this morning, and he said he picked up 3 Burberry ties, and when he went to the register to check out, when he heard the price, he said, no, take them back. Don't want them. They're too expensive, and Kramer does have a lot of money. So all of you poor folks who out there trying to impress people by buying Burberry, the rich people are giving it back, like Kramer. Okay, so she's leaving Burberry and going to Silicon Valley to Apple to head up their retail division. Oh yes, she believes totally in social media and digital. So we're on the right track. But as Dax says, everyone is an expert these days. You know, we need some perts. Are you a pert or are you an expert? Which one are you? I would like to think I'm a pert. Take the X off. Okay? So are we now to assume that Apple is going to get just a little bit more expensive, like Burberry brand? Or are we just going to get some more retail gimmicks to get us to buy Apple? We'll watch for that. And kind of switching gears a little bit this morning, I want to welcome you again. This is the Diana Wright Show live online, Monday through Friday. We do it just the same from 10:30 to 11:30, and Dax Dunn will be my special guest tomorrow inside of Wellness Wednesday. Yeah, he'll join us tomorrow, and we will talk about making you well. But just a little teaser before we get to Dax tomorrow, because I'm going to want to hear what he has to say about this. So if you want to stay free of the flu this season, they're saying in order to stay healthy, you should do these things while you're healthy and not wait until you get the flu to do them. I'm going to add something to the list, though. Now, they have come up with garlic, lots and lots of garlic. Garlic up yourself. The only problem with garlic is when you eat it, my God, it makes you stink. It comes through your pores, and you know, oh, and the cologne can't help it. You just gotta stop for a minute, let it get out, and then you can start again. Or maybe you just need to low doses, but they want you to garlic it up. Garlic it up. So yes, garlic is one of the things to help you stay healthy before you get sick. Plain yogurt. The probiotics in the yogurt help build and keep your immune system intact. So if you don't like yogurt, you got a problem. Okay. Last week I told you that you should put some olive oil in your yogurt and it will keep you slim and trim. Oh my! And I've started taking my Garcinia and my saffron. Good news for Rad Wellness because it works like magic. So I'm endorsing Garcinia in the drop form and saffron in the drop form from Rad Wellness. Tell Dax I sent you. Go and buy your stuff. Honey, it works like magic. Yeah, it sure does. So check it out. I'll tell you more about it when Dax comes. But I'm gathering that merengue is even better. So Dax better come up with some merengue for me tomorrow. I hear it's good for your eyes. So you know when you're getting older and you can't see so clear, you might just need some merengue to get you going. Alright? Okay, so we got some chicken soup going on here. I make a mean chicken soup. I sure do. Just ask my family if you don't believe me. I do. But they're saying that you need to drink that chicken soup not when you get sick, but before you get sick, you better be drinking that chicken soup. Yeah? Because it has natural anti-inflammatory goodness in it. You get it from the vegetables and you get it from the chicken. So yes, drink up that chicken soup prior to sickness, not when you're sick. It will keep you well. Okay, Dax, I want to hear what you have to say about that one. Should I be buying the organic chicken or the natural chicken? What does natural mean anyway? They're not getting antibiotics? Is that what it means? And then, oh my goodness, they want you to get lots and lots of sleep. Who gets that these days? Oh my goodness, it's either you have a snoring husband, or you have stress, or you're worried about the shutdown, and how you're going to pay your mortgage, and your credit card bills, and your light bill, and your water bill, and your phone bill. So who gets sleep these days? Are you getting sleep? Let me know what you're doing to get some sleep. Yeah, you can share that. You can share it on my Facebook page, or you can actually call into the program when I'm on, you know, especially when Dax is on at 561-228-1921. We're going to take another break and come back in just a moment. But before I go, the last thing that they want you to do is sweat it out. You know what that means? You got to get yourself to a sauna. But if you don't have access to a sauna, I advise you just put on a whole lot of clothes and go running and sweat it out. It will keep you well. Alrighty, so we're gonna take a break and come back again in just a slither of a moment. Absolutely. Hello everyone. It doesn't matter who you are, how rich you are, how poor you are. But there has to be a point in your life, and you will come to that point, where you have to take someone you love to the hospital. But have you ever considered that you could take that loved one, in my case, my only child, to the hospital in a normal state, and then you leave 5 months later, brain damaged, in a wheelchair, without your senses? This is my true story, Deadly Negligence, the book, available on Amazon and at my website, dianawrighttv.webs.com. I'm asking you today to get a copy. Support my story. Let us get this out there, because this story will captivate you. It will shock you. It will give you hope. It will increase your faith and make you believe in miracles again. Thank you for picking up your copy today. And just in case you know Oprah Winfrey or Tyler Perry or Mr. Levinson, let them know this is worth a movie. Thank you. Get your copy today. Alrighty, we are back, and you are listening, watching the Diana Wright Show live online at www.dianawrighttv.webs.com. Thank you so much for liking us and loving us on Facebook. Yeah, so many people. Wow, wow, wow. It's a good thing I'm on the internet so they can see me from wherever they are, from Africa to Jamaica to all around the world. We thank you so much for liking us on Facebook. Keep watching, and of course, I'm asking you to send me some questions. What's wrong with you? And people are afraid to call on the phone because they don't want to be on the air live. Why not? We just get, you know, you just can speak your piece and no problem, all right? So don't be scared. Anyway, okay, so let me now put the phone number up before I go to the juice about Walmart and its issues. Can you actually believe what happened to Walmart yesterday? And United Airlines, they did the same. They had the same computer glitch like American Airlines a few weeks ago. You could go on and get tickets for zero money. But guess what? United is not going to honor them, the tickets, okay? But American did. So, you know, I used to work for American. I love American. So, Anyway, and they're calling it the New American now, so we'll see what's new about it. I know they're pretty good going to Europe. First class is first class on American Airlines. But I'm told that, some other ones like Singapore Airlines and Thai Airlines and, what is it? There's quite a few others that are whooping their butts. So, I don't know. They say they're new, so we'll see what they got now. All right. So, in Springfield and Mansfield, that's in Louisiana, there was a stampede and I'm not sure. Should people have been honest about this, or should they have done what they did? Anyway, I'll let you be the judge of this, because I guess when you're desperate for money and you get your, a food stamp card and it has unlimited on it by error. Now Walmart is mad as hell because their store was emptied in minutes. There was such a stampede on the store. I think a couple people got arrested. But the point is, Walmart is now blaming Xerox, I guess, for some glitch, and Xerox is saying, no, you did not do the proper, safety check when there's a disaster like this, or, But anyway, so there was a stampede of clearing all the shelves on Saturday after a computer glitch for food stamp recipients led to benefit cards allowing unlimited purchases. So they went to Walmart and raised Cain. They just did the hurricane swipe. Police were called as entire shelves were being cleared out until the glitch was fixed, and low-income residents using the cards were no longer allowed to make purchases. Now, if I were Walmart, I'm not quite sure how I would handle that. So can you now trace all those people and get your goods back? Or how do you do that? Interesting thought. So the Springfield Police Chief, Will Lind, confirms they were called in to help the employees at Walmart because there were so many people clearing off the shelves. He says Walmart was so packed, it was worse than any Black Friday that he's ever seen. Lind explained the cards weren't showing limits, and they called corporate Walmart, whose spokesman said to let the people use the cards anyway. Oh my beji. Wow. From 7 to 9 p.m., people were loading up their carts, but when the cards began showing limits again around 9, one woman was detained after she rang up a bill of $700 and only had $49 on her card. I think there's a little dishonesty in this, don't you think? Would you have used that card, or would you have waited? Like I hear a lot of stupid people say they get things from the bank saying their house is paid off for. Hell, the bank is going to catch up with it at some point. Or some people calling and saying, they didn't have to pay their they will catch up with you, or their credit card is now blank. They eventually catch up. If they don't, boy, you are one lucky person. Alrighty, so we see that Lind says at 9 p.m. when the cards came back online and it was announced over the loudspeaker, people just left their carts full of food in the aisles and ran out the store. No arrests were made. Well, I guess you can't blame someone because, I guess if you go to the bank, if I go to the bank and I see $1 million in my bank account, am I going to say anything? Or am I just going to leave it there and watch to see what happens? Well, I think if that happens, you should let that money sit there for a good long time before you start taking it out, because they're going to find it, and if you spend it, how are you going to get it back? How are you going to give it back? Actually, this actually happened, Some people found lots of money in their bank accounts and they just pulled it out immediately and spent it. I think it went to court and the people actually won because the judge said, well, it was there, so they spent it. All right. We're switching gears again, but before we do, we're going to take another break and come back to you in just a slither of a moment. We'll be back in just a moment. This is the Diana Wright Show, live. Yes, we're live. We are live. Hello, everyone. I am just asking you from around the world and in the United States to partner with the Diana Wright Show. Sponsor the Diana Wright Show or advertise on the Diana Wright Show. To do so, please call 561-228-1921. That's 561-228-1921. Please sponsor, partner with us, and advertise with us to make the show a big hit, just like you do by liking us on Facebook and following me on Twitter. Thank you so much. Don't forget the number to call, 561-228-1921. That's 561-228-1921. Also, we invite you to invite me to be at your event as a speaker and to tell you about my new book, Deadly Negligence. And so we encourage you to partner with us right here on the Diana Wright Show. Advertise with us and sponsor the Diana Wright Show. 561-228-1921. Thank you so much. Okay, we are back and we are going to ask you something that I am kind of wondering. First, I'd like you to like me on, just kind of follow me on Twitter, okay? Get on that Twitter and follow me on Twitter. It's important, at Diana Wright Show. That's easy to remember. Okay, if you had a choice, would you actually choose poverty? Would you? There are quite a few Americans that have chosen poverty. Poverty by choice. So more than 2 decades ago, then 33-year-old Dan Price, and he had a wife, 2 small children, a high-interest mortgage, and a stressful job as a photojournalist in Kentucky. He worried daily about money and the work-a-day grind. How many of you are worrying about that? He said, I told myself, buck up and pay the bills. This is just the way normal life is. Then he learned about what he calls the simple life. Are you willing to choose the simple life? I'm not so sure a lot of us would choose that. Price read Pain Hollow, a 1974 book about author Harlan Hubbard's rejection of modernity. Yeah, there is such a book, and his primitive home on the shore of the Ohio River. So Price's marriage dissolved soon after because, not many women are going to take on that simple life thing. And the whole family moved to Oregon, where he grew up. Price opted to move alone into a tiny cabin in the woods. Is he crazy or what? Then he moved into a flop house, then a teepee, and finally into an underground hobbit hole on a horse pasture near a river where he still lives today. During the winter, he decamps to Hawaii, no doubt, to surf and avoid the harsh weather. So if you're going to live in a teepee, then you're going to want to go to Hawaii in the wintertime. Okay. So Price's version of the simple life costs $5,000 a year. Can you live on $5,000 a year? Okay, let's see. Start calculating. Which he earns from publishing a wilderness zine and doing odd jobs around Joseph, his eastern Oregon town. Okay. He said, I like being able to do what I want to do. Do you know lots of us say that every single day? But we're not able to do what Price does. So, he pays $100 a year for his land. $100 a year? He said, I don't believe in houses or mortgages. Who in their right mind would spend their lifetime paying for a building they never get to spend time in because they are always working? Now, I once heard a young man on a furniture truck say that, you know. He said, you people slave to buy these expensive houses. And I know that's not a decent airplane. What have I won now? Hello?
Congratulations.
See, I won something again. Am I that lucky? No. These guys, they're always calling to tell me congratulations, I've won a trip somewhere. And that trip is never free. Nothing is free in America, okay? Let no one fool you. Alright, so are you always working and don't enjoy your house? So the young man in the furniture truck said to me, I go around to deliver furniture to all these houses, and I wonder, these people work so hard to build these houses, buy these houses, furnish them, and they don't seem to live there. They're always working. So here you go, Mr. Price. Some, like Price, have lived this way for decades. For others, it's a decision spurred by the recession and its exposure of economic precarity. Either way, it's often a political choice. One that questions a consumerist, deeply stratified society. The intentional poor, as they're being called, are looking for something real that goes beyond commodity. And this was said by a sociologist called Karen Halnon. She's a professor at Pennsylvania State University and author of Consumption of Inequality. Well, that I like, because I am wondering about the people who are not thinking about the people who are making $7.25 an hour, and yet they are making billions, and they can buy all these crazy toys like Tesla and their own island, and yeah, there are people actually buying their own island. I would like to have my own island, but you know, I need some time to get there. And believe me, I will handpick the people who come to live on that island with me. Absolutely. No fools allowed, no hypocrites allowed, no pretend friends around, no knife stabbers around, no jealousy around, and no haters around, and no envy around. That would be my island. So Dan Carr, this is someone else, now an assistant professor at American University, lived as a squatter 20 years ago in Manhattan's Lower East Side, and says the lifestyle was a way to challenge the notion that, quote, the one family home with a 9-to-5 job was the only way to provide meaning to our lives. That New York neighborhood is still a hot spot for street kids, or gutter punks, they call them. Another one, a 23-year-old who identified himself as Banjo, then admitted that wasn't his real name. Who knew, or who thought it was? He came to the city for Occupy Wall Street and now hangs out on the eastern tip of 14th Street. If you know New York, you know what I'm talking about. He explained his choice as more relevant than ever. We saw how mortgage companies screwed people, he said. The economy is a joke. We travel all over and people help us out. Now, I visualized that when I read the story. Could I just kind of hang out and wait for people to give me some food? Hell no. I could not do that. I love me too much. I gotta get up and labor. It's okay to labor. And I hate retirement. I don't want anyone telling me about retirement. Maybe when you're 100 or so. And even then, if you want to be like Abraham in the Bible, there's no retirement for you, because you're going to be popping out them babies when you're old. So, let's continue here. At Sycamore House, an intentional community in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, no doubt, young people volunteered with nonprofits in exchange for food, rent, and a $400 a month stipend. Hello? You get $400 a month? Free food and lodging? Wow! That's in Pennsylvania. Amy Corey, the program's director, said that a third of residents sign up after struggling to find work after college. Wow. Doing this, they say, has offered more security than the job market in the U.S. So, the U.S. is kind of floating around and acting like their youth unemployment is not as bad as Spain and Italy. Ouch. Maybe we should listen to Amy Corey. So Price pays $53. This is the first guy I read about. He pays $53 a month for his cell phone bill and owns, guess what? He owns some Apple products. You want to think what they are? He owns an iPad and a MacBook Air. I wonder where he puts that. Mr. Hypocrites. Talking about he's living in the rabbit hole. And then he has an iPad and a MacBook Air in the hole with him? Or does he only take it to Hawaii when he goes to do his thing? Yeah, people, they will make us think, Okay. I have a story about the angry world that I'm actually going to save for you, because I want to read it all to you. And I'm going to have to take a break again right now and come back in just a moment. This is the Diana White Show Live, and we welcome you from around the world and in the United States. Thank you for joining us. Remember, April 30th, 2014 is International I Love Me Day. I want you to start thinking about what will you do special for you on that day. Share it with me on Facebook and Twitter, and join the conversation on the Diana White Show, Monday through Friday, 10:30 a.m. We are live. The number to call, 561-228-1921. That's 561-228-1921. Join the conversation. Like us on Facebook and follow me on Twitter. Okay, that was fast. We are now back with you. Yes, we're back. As soon as the signal gives us the signal, yes, we're back. And, I wonder if the Republicans are truly thinking. The approach of the U.S. default deadline with no clear resolution in sight is being greeted around the world with a mixture of angst and anger. People have some harsh words for them. It's hard not to believe lunatics have taken charge of the asylum in Washington. And even if they cut a deal today, Washington will still, the House of Representatives in particular, and some of the senators, because remember now, Ted Cruz is not a congressman. He's leading the Congress people. The Tea Party is in there, but he's actually a senator in the Senate. And he's saying that he might not vote for what Harry Reid and McConnell came up with anyway. So we're still tomorrow going to have lunatics in the asylum of Congress and the Senate tomorrow. So are you going to sit on the edge of your seat? Are you going to listen to me and not live in fear? Or are you just going to let them lie to you and you succumb to fear? Live not in fear, my friends. It's not worth it. Because we have a bigger power, a mightier power. And it's God, through His Son Jesus, who is willing to give you more than you ask for. Remember the story of the 5 loaves and 3 fishes? After everyone was fed, over 5,000, what was left? Lots of baskets left over. That's an indication to me that God just does not want to give me just what I need. He wants my cup to runneth over. And I thank Him for that. As I look and feel and expect my miracles every single day, and continue to live in the supernatural where I truly love myself and teach my daughter to love herself. Because if she didn't, she would not be here today to tell and give our testimony. We will do that on Saturday, October 19th, at a book signing hosted by Rad Wellness, Dax Dunn and Vanya. In Plantation, from 6 to 9 p.m. Midtown 24 is the name of the building. The Alibi Room is the place. The address, 700 Southwest 78th Avenue. And if you need the zip code, it's 33324, and that's in Florida. So I look forward to seeing you there. If you've bought a book already, it would be my pleasure to sign it, to give you my autograph, to give you my John Hancock. I won't give you the real one, so you can take it. Nah. And if you did not yet own your book, you can purchase one there. And if you bring 10 people with you, I will actually give you an autographed copy. So I look forward to seeing you this Saturday from 6 to 9 p.m. It's October 19th. And it's going to be a pleasant evening. You can spare me 2 hours. You owe me that. Yeah. Have a great day and a blessed one. And if you love something, set it free. If it comes back, it's yours. If it doesn't, it was never yours. This is Diana Wright signing off and saying thank you so much for joining me today from around the world and in the United States. Be blessed. Give some love. Love yourself. And stop the hate, the jealousy, and the wickedness. Do you know who I hate most in life? I should never use that word hate. Or the people I dislike most in life are people who are ungrateful. And mighty, 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 there are lots of them out there. But you learn, and you live, and you continue to be who you are. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day.